This video is not for the chi blockers out there. Martial arts have been taken very seriously since the beginning of time, but throughout history, we've seen them being distorted for theatrical and entertainment purposes by some obvious imposters. In this video, we're going to talk about the ones that stayed real in their form and the unfortunate ones that didn't really translate well in today's cage fighting era. Here, we'll chalk out the best and worst martial arts used in MMA. Muay Thai, good. Hey, want to see some exciting Muay Thai in an MMA fight? Watch pretty much any Matt Brown fight. Elbows, knees, trips from the clinch. These are some of the more exciting parts of Matt Brown's game. He, along with many other fighters, found splendid success in MMA thanks to their Muay Thai background. I mean, hey, not all martial arts can get an edge over Shaolin monks. Muay Thai is a very gritty martial art. Elbows and knees are allowed on top of kicks and punches. In an MMA fight where the fight can take place at a longer range or in the clinch, the versatile attack from Muay Thai translates well into the completeness of MMA. Wing Chun, bad. Yeah, Tony Ferguson. Look, we get it, and we like Tony too. It's just, well, Wing Chun isn't that great for true combat. This style of fighting hasn't found any success in the UFC, and that's because it doesn't work. Watching Wing Chun practitioners smacking around that wooden dummy with some Naruto hand gestures is pretty cool, but the day that stuff works in a high-level MMA fight is the day Tony Ferguson finishes Khabib. Spoiler, it's not gonna happen, that fight is cursed. Wrestling, best. Speaking of Khabib Nurmagomedov, let's talk about wrestling. Yeah, that segue was smooth, but have you ever seen Nurmagomedov transition from striking to wrestling? Now that is really smooth. Wrestling may be the most important martial art. Not only does the better wrestler dictate where the fight goes, but wrestlers often have the most unbreakable mental fortitude and serious strength. Chael Sonnen, Kamaru Usman, Khabib Nurmagomedov, these are some of the most gangster fighters to ever do it. The common denominator, they're undefeated in the UFC. We got you, Chael. Oh, and they're wrestlers. That's a common denominator. Krav Maga, bad. Krav Maga? More like Nah. Yeah, whatever, that joke wasn't great, but neither is Krav Maga in real fighting situations. While a Google search may tell you that Krav Maga is one of the most deadly martial arts, it's not the most deadly. If you believe that too, then we'd like to direct you to Royce Gracie. Krav Maga is fun and can be a good martial art for self-defense, but we're talking about the UFC here. It's not going to work out well against a well-rounded professional fighter like Charles Oliveira. JiuJitsu, best. Here we have another one of the best martial arts that translates incredibly well into a professional MMA fight. BJJ is a tried and tested art form in combat sports. Its dominance is unmatched and remains one of the vital martial arts a fighter has to learn to excel in the UFC. Having beaten every other style in UFC 1, Jiu-Jitsu practitioners always have and always will carry a threatening presence inside the octagon. Whereas wrestlers determine where a fight takes place, Jiu-Jitsu practitioners are finishers when the fight hits the mat. Furthermore, having this comfortability on the ground really opens up the striking elements of fighting. See Charles Oliveira. He can risk getting hurt on the feet, because if someone drops him, then hey, welcome to his world. Aikido, worst. Cue the Steven Seagal highlight reel. Aikido is one of those martial arts that's kind of fun to watch, but you might as well watch professional wrestling. It's neat, fun looking, but that stuff won't work in an actual MMA fight. Excluding Brock Lesnar, but you know what we mean. Sorry Aikido, it's just not the move for professional fighting. And while Seagal may have been the mastermind behind Silva's front kick knockout over Vitor, we just can't praise him or his Aikido mastery too much. Karate, best. Don't believe us? Try telling that to Stephen Thompson, Michael Venom Page, George St. Pierre, and the many other fighters that use their karate backgrounds to proliferate the most exciting finishes in MMA history. Karate works, but it needs to be done perfectly. Many karate practitioners don't make the transition to MMA. Many try and are unsuccessful, but the ones that succeed are some of the hardest puzzles to solve. Karate fighters have a great awareness of distance, are great at closing the gap, and can move their legs better than most can move their arms. Tai Chi, worst. Tai Chi is a martial art that was seen in Avatar: The Last Airbender, primarily used for the waterbender's movement. It's pretty cool for that, but in MMA, not so useful. Unless you can bend the water, then go grab some titles. This martial art may be a bit more about serenity or therapeutic than it is effective in a fistfight. However, it does look pretty smooth and relaxing. Boxing. Good. Conor McGregor has entered the chat. Boxing plays a huge part in MMA fights even when it doesn't look like it. Jabs not landing, footwork to stay out of harm's way, and of course, hands making the connection and inflicting pain all over. The hands are the highest percentage weapon for success in a fight. Also, it's arguably the most exciting. McGregor, the Diaz brothers, Petr Yan. These are some of the most exciting fighters in MMA who feature a magnificent boxing base. Ninjutsu, worst. Disregard what others might say, this martial art absolutely will not work in an MMA fight. Really, please don't try this at home, school, or anywhere. When looking at the fundamentals of ninjutsu, the trained eye will see holes in their practice. While there may be some okay techniques at this martial art's core, it's just not going to win a fight at any level above rudimentary.